wherever you may be. I'm your humble host, Mr. David Null, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers, and I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite creator. And I continue to pray that each and every day, that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings from the universe. So, with that said, bingo. I hope this finds all of you doing well. Um, it's been a 2026 has been an interesting year for me, and for a lot of other people too. And so, my topic for tonight is the sickness that stifled the shaman, me, I'm the shaman in training, how the shaman, how the sickness just seemed to take away anything, any spirit guides or anything, and which was really weird. But when you got a 104-degree temperature on and off for a couple of days, hey, Mr. Crow, what you doing? Thank you. All your prayers are very welcome. It's been a rough first of the year, and I'm not here to complain, although I probably will. Michael, hey, how you doing? How are you all? I've missed you all. I have. But it's been so bad that they finally got me some antibiotics. No, that's good, Crow. Of course, I love you as Richard, but um,
You will forever be in my heart as Richard.
but anyway, so the sickness really knocked me down. And I went to my kidney doctor and we were discussing whose cold was worse.
Mine had a temperature of 102.
Well, mine was 104. My doctor now. And he's a younger man than me. And he told me, he said, he said, this winter has been the hardest. And I bring this out to you all because God forbid that you get whatever it was that we had, that that how hard it is to stand back up after being sick like this with the fever and the flu and the what. Love the headband. Yeah, I put it on just because I was in one of them moods. And
It's my official headband, too, because it's official when I use it.
is that Barry? Yeah. I actually, he came back as Richard. But anyway, so during the first one, it was in January, and fever, and I've tried, and I'm laying on the bed just in fetal position, and I'm like, God Almighty, I have been in some tough situations in my lifetime, and good Lord have mercy, I got to go through another. And so, what do I do? And going to the hospital, yeah, okay, but when you're, I don't know, when in flu like that, I couldn't get to the hospital, number one. However, there were several times that I was just close to driving in. So, but anyway, so I played that game. Should you go to the hospital or not? Well, I'll stay here. Maybe I'll get better. Then you get worse, and then you can't. And then so, but through this, there were four times I went down. Steve's in the house. Oh, good to see you. So I'm in my weakened states. I'm always praying for folks. For me, I was like, Lord, just get me through this. Get my prayer most of the time to the universe is give me strength. If you give me the strength, I'll make it. If you just give me the strength, I'll figure it out. So, and that's to this day, that's how I feel, you know. So there are some folks, you know, pray for this or pray for help. Like, why don't you pray for strength? You know, you're sitting over there going, "Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do." Blah, 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 blah. Pray for strength. That'll get the strength will give you what you need to overcome whatever the situation is. Whatever the situation is. If you get the strength from the universe, which is there, take a deep breath, a deep breath, pick a deep breath and say, okay, you know, all right, universe, help me out here. I got this situation. Now, talking about situations, this is Thursday, Friday morning. This last Monday, just Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, I decided to take my canoe down to the river. Okay. Now it's sitting on a nice trailer that I have refurbished. Um, I got this gotta go fishing thingy, you know, catfish, gotta go fishing. So get down to the river and I know it's low. So I back down the ramp there and put the boat in and everything's lovely. And it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And there's a high spot on the game and fishing, you know, and I'm like right there, right? So it's going to be a good afternoon because it's full moon. Get onto the river, you know, everything's groovy. Fishing, caught a big gar, went on down to the railroad tracks and, you know, and just went on under and then could see off in the distance where we used to camp, which is like a sandbar. So I went down to the sandbar and we all, me and Duggar got out, right? So I was standing on the sandbar, decided going to do some catfishing here in the river. So, which I did, put 3 poles out and then was casting one for, you know, stuff. And, you know, sat there. There were no bugs. It was beautiful. And as it was getting darker, I was like, whoops, I didn't really prepare to be here after dark. Now I've been on the river many times in the dark. So I was like, well, this is going to be one of them times where I get to use my psychic energy, literally, to make sure that I don't run into anything on the way back. Now I've talked about this over the years, you know, and when I was down on the Occoquan River way further south, where the little, you know, water nymphs, you know, sang and we sang together and they showed me in the mist how to get back. That's still one of the trippiest things I've ever done. But in this though, to allow yourself to feel what's around you. I feel like there's something in front of me. In fact, as we were coming back in, you know, the moonlight was all overhead. The river was lit up. It was absolutely beautiful. And in my craziness, I like take pictures, turn on the camera. Yeah, I still have to learn about that. But I was more worried about getting my ass back to the um, boat ramp because I'm 73 and and I tire easily, and I've had, you know, 3 heart attacks after going to the doctor. That's a heart attack, and that's a heart attack, and that's a heart attack. Here, take some more medicine. That's the truth. Pathfinder 111. Hey, Pathfinder, what's up? Love you, love you, love you. 100%. Love you, love you, love you. Watched one of the videos again today, and I have not showered enough. Um, Mainly because I haven't had water. But now that I got water, the cleanup is on. So, but anyway, I I didn't know that I stink, but I'll keep up with that. But anyway, so Duggar's being a little touchy. He wants to sit on my lap, which can't happen in the canoe. Um, got a paddle, right? I need room to paddle. So paddling back kind of slow and easy, and I'm tired. We've been down there now. It's 1 o'clock, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7. It's dark. 8, 9 o'clock, and I'm still paddling. Not complaining. It's just that I'm out of shape. So I kept paddling. Little bit, little bit, little bit. Kept that canoe going forward. Whoops! Hit the brakes. Big tree sitting in the middle. Duggar's, but the front of the canoe, he wasn't sitting in the front, but Duggar was like, "Ooh, look at that," because he can see in the dark and I can't, or he sees better in the dark than I can. Let me put it that way. So what it gave me the opportunity to do was to practice seeing in the dark. I know that sounds stupid and silly, but you know, when you allow your eyes to get adjusted, and I had all this beautiful moonlight, the next thing you have to do is look through your third eye. You have to allow yourself to feel what's ahead of you. What is my perception? Is there a tree in the middle of the river? And there was two spots where we literally had to weave in and out of the logs in the dark, and we didn't bump into anything except I had to go over a log, bumped into it, but we had to get through this series of logs. So, but we made it through that, made it out into the open where there were any logs or anything. Nice, beautiful moonlight. I'm still paddling slow, getting more tired, and finally make it back to the boat ramp. So I get out, I park the canoe, 17 and a half foot, beautiful old canoe. It's a Cadillac. Um, and get my truck, start it up, and back up the trailer. Took me forever to get it right, but down the ramp I went, just as pretty as you please. Right down the ramp, I mean, it was equal spot space on either side. Back that trailer up just as pretty as you please, right down into the Oclockney River, and backed it up to where the tires of the truck were just touching the water. Had to back up a little more because the water's so low, and then turned off the truck, put a park brake on, of course, and went out into the river to haul my canoe onto the trailer, which I did. Lights are on. It's really dark, dirty, but it's beautiful moonlight. And so, um, evidence is needed. Think before you follow. I didn't get that, but I got it, but I didn't. Anyway, so I get the boat onto the trailer. It's a hustle and a tussle, and I'm fighting, and I'm old, and I'm tired, and I'm really sore. Having trouble walking around in the water. Got my walking stick. It's pathetic. Get it in. Everything's groovy now. I get in the front seat of my Mazda truck. Turn it back on. Take my foot off the parking brake. Give it a little gas, and now I'm sitting in the sand. I'm in the Oclockney River, literally. Okay, I'm on the river bottom. Not far in, mind you. I'm like this far up off of the cement. Okay, Duggar was great. He kept looking at me like, I'll get to that. So I gun it a little bit, and I'm like, I've been down this ramp before with other boat trailers, and it's a little sandy, but give it a little gas and it'll come out of the sand. Give it a little more gas, and I'm going like this. And the truck is moved like this much. And I'm like, what's going on? So, son of a biscuit eater, I turn the truck off and get out. Now it's um, quarter to 12 at night. Okay. There are no lights anywhere around. It's really dark 30 down there on the river. So I'm walking around the trailer, walking around the truck, and I walk down the side. And now I'm wading in the water because I got to find out what's wrong. So I got my light and I see this hole that was dug by my right rear tire. The tire was hanging off. I thought my axle was broke. The tire was hanging off into this hole. And I was like, holy Jesus, what am I going to do? I walked around the rest of the truck, and my idea was to unhook the trailer. And I've got a wheel on the front of the trailer so that I can wheel it around. So I'm going to unhook the trailer and pull the truck out from under the trailer. And then I realized the bumper of the truck and the whole front end of the trailer is sitting on the bottom of the riverbed. It's it's there. So what can I do? So I get in the truck, and I have never had to call a tow truck before, except at an accident. But this is the only time in my 73 years that I've had to call a tow truck. I have been able to figure out how to get myself out of a mess until now. And I look at the situation and I went, tow truck, you know, I don't know how much it's going to cost, but tow truck. So then I get in the front seat of the cab, and it's a little chilly, but we're doing okay. And me and Duggar, I didn't bring anything for us to eat, but I had some slashed cheese in the bottom of a little thing that I put cold in. And so we had a couple of pieces of cheese. And then I called my buddy Elderberry, and we chatted for several hours about a bunch of stuff. So he was like, I'd already called the uh, one of the services that I have to call for a record. Well, we'll be it's in an hour. We'll be there in an hour. So, yep, it's the first time with my insurances and with my cell phone, there is this roadside service that I pay for every month, which this is the first time for any of the ones that I've paid for that I've had to use. So, okay, call it in, go through the little thing, go through here's a you got to download this thing and you got to do this and okay. So I did it all, and it's 12 o'clock now, 12 going on 12:30 Eastern time, extra. So I'm looking at the clock and go, they're going to be here between 1:20 and 2:20. Well, it's 12:20 now, which means it's going to be an hour before that hour window opens up. So, okay, so me and Barry talked. Thank you, Barry. And what time is it? Well, it's 1:30. Well, about time to call in. Well, they didn't show up. They're still not here. So I get on the app and I do the thing and whoop, what? Sorry, but it's going to be an hour before they'll be here for an hour. In other words, it's 2 o'clock, and at 2 o'clock, starting at 3 o'clock, between 3:30 and 4:30, they'll come get me out. So that's another hour to wait before the hour starts to where they're going to come and get me. So God bless you, Barry. He stayed there and we talked about everything under the moon. It was a beautiful night, man. I'm telling you, the full moon, almost full moon down there. There weren't any bugs that had the window rolled down. It was wonderful. April Fools. waited till 3:30 came, 4 o'clock came, 4:30 came, called them back, get on the tab thingy. Still, they're still, well, we're going to come get you between 5:15 and 6:30. What? It's 4:30 now. So I called back and I get a person. And the person says, I see where you've been trying to get a tow truck all night long. And I was like, yes, ma'am. And she was like, well, let me fill out this and what's your and your birth date, right? And okay, well, we're going to have somebody there as soon as possible. Now we hung up, and I was like, I actually talked to a person instead of punching a bunch of buttons. And this nice gentleman from Pavo called me and said, we'll be right over. Well, it takes about 40 minutes for them to get there from Pavo. No problem. I have waited all night long. Jason says, hi, how are you? X. What's up, y'all? So, but anyway, so all night long, Barry helped keep me company, but there's no much room to stretch out in my truck, but we made it through. Um, didn't get home until sunrise. So what was a couple of hour trip on the river ended up being there, for, let's see, 13, 14 hours, 15 hours. Anyway, plus all the stuff. So by the time I got home, you talk about tired. I got muscles that are hurting I didn't even know I had. My hips hurt from sitting on that little seat in that canoe. I mean, I had a great time. I want to go back and fishing. But here's the thing. So through all of the sickness part and trying to of surviving all of it, had talked to Barry about this, and I was like, there's something has gone on from the sickness. I ain't talking to my spirit guys. I, I'm sure they're out there flying around somewhere, but and I haven't. My he bought me a beautiful drum, and I've got a drum as well. And I was like, they're sitting right here, literally 2 foot away. But I don't have the urge to drum. I, I used to be able to hear the drum in my head anywhere I went. I could hear a drum. Hey, hey, and I haven't heard it. And through this sickness, the reason for this long term, and here going through another, sitting literally sitting with ass into my Mazda pickup truck not in the middle, but in the Ocklawahnee River, and having to wait. And Barry, we talked all night long, but to the point though that it happened. Why did this happen? I was lined up straight. I did everything right, but my right rear tire got into a sinkhole of sand and I bottomed out. Really simple. Took the guy 5 minutes to get me out. That it was, all night long in 5 minutes. So what's the lesson there? Well, the lesson is to be patient. Years ago, I'd have been throwing stuff. I'd have been cursing, cussing, kicking shit. I would have been doing all kinds of nasty stuff, kicking tires, doing this, hollering, screaming, why don't you? And I didn't do none of that. So, have I learned anything in life? Yeah, I think I have, because I didn't holler. I mean, don't get me wrong, I cursed. I cursed, but only for about that long. And then I just took a deep breath and I sat down and smoked a cigarette while I was sitting in the front seat of the truck. And it's like, let me look at the situation. Let me, Lord, help me evaluate the situation and what am I going to do? No, I didn't run out of smokes. I ran out of smoke. I ran out of smoke, but I was smoking kind of heavy. But anyway, I ran out of smoke. I still had cigarettes, only a few, but I still had cigarettes. So, but I ran out of smoke. I'm sorry. But anyway, so while I'm sitting there, it's like, waiting on the tow truck. Lord have us, I'm waiting on the tow truck. Waiting on the tow truck. Like coming up with songs. We had a lot of fun. Me sitting in the tow truck. I mean, waiting on the tow truck in the cab of my truck. But anyway, back to the shaman thing. So I know long-winded and how did I get here, but as all of this is going on and me and Barry are talking, in the back of my head is the shaman thing, right? It's like, why did you put me here tonight? You know, me and Barry have talked, long into the night without me being stuck in a freaking river. You know, I'm really tired. I hurt. All my medicines at the house. Um, Everything's at the house. I had a couple of drinks and some water and a little bit of sliced cheese and the thing, and we weren't dying. It wasn't like there was anything that it's gotta happen now. Well, I really wanted to get out now, but obviously had to wait till sunrise. But I told him about about 2 o'clock. I said it'll be sunrise before I get out of here. Son of a gun, if I wasn't right. But anyway, so, but in that, where's the shaman thing, right? Where where are my spirit guides? Where's the drum at that I used to hear all the time? Without effort, I could hear a drum. You know, and now it's two drums sitting right here, and I'm like, where are you guys to give me inspiration? It's like, come on, you guys used to yap at me all the time and keep me awake at night. You're going to have to talk about this, and they'd get me up at 4 in the morning and make me talk about shit. So it's like, so I'm wondering about the disconnect. It's how I know it's they're out there floating around somewhere, or the thought is at least, and it's like, but how did the sickness disconnect me? I mean, I still feel close to the earth, and I still, am feeling empathy. I mean, I still feel like the shaman in training that I am, but I've lost the phone line to what used to be all the time, just there. So I feel at a loss, and I feel a loss. Okay. I used to be pharmaceuticals interrupting. I would say part of that is true. But, Barry, in with that, I have taken these drugs before, and not quite a year ago, but I didn't have that issue. Yes, he has, Richard. He absolutely has. I mean, I would have made it the other night if he had not stayed on the phone with me, but it was really nice to have somebody to yap at. Um, because I was just tired. But to have Barry to yap at, and he's like, "Well, you better call him back," and I was like, oh, "Okay." So having somebody to bitch at me in a nice, polite way, you know, was very gratifying and grateful, and um, so yeah. But to the point though, and Barry and I's conversation, it's like I've been so sick and wrapped up in the fetal position 4 times since the middle of January. Okay. Uh, and, I wanted to do a live stream. I wanted to do some other stuff. And all I could do was just exist. So, but with that, I've had some other times in my life where this had to, like the time I got stuck on the river for 4 days, and being, the heat and the trauma and the back pain because I had fallen and hurt myself, and nobody knew where I was, and nobody could have come got me pretty much anyway because there's very little water, and I did a lot of walking and towing the canoe. Um, and then having those spirit angel people come and get me, and then me watching myself being taken across through the swamp, and it was like, you can't be watching this. So me went off, and me went that way, the other me, my spirit me. So I've seen this stuff, and I've been there. I have lived through it. I'm still here, um, which is like amazing to me, after going through all this stuff. But so this collective knowledge, right? The shaman has to walk the walk. The shaman has to sometimes walk through the valley of death to understand what the valley of death means, and to possibly die of a certain spirit, something. Okay, I've had a bunch of addictions in my life, so I walk through the valley of death to get rid of an addiction, which I have. I've given up alcohol, I've given up this, so we as human beings, sometimes in order to learn things, we have to walk through the valley of death. Now, the valley of death might be like this wide and 10 feet long, and all you got to do is cross over there, but it's going to feel like it's a big achievement. I got to walk through this, or I have to get rid of this bad energy that I'm carrying. I got to unload something. And so, in order to do so, you have to walk through the valley of death and destroy that which is killing you, drunkenness, or, whatever it might be. What's out there? Well, that was weird. So, but anyway, but question, did the spirit guides leave me, y'all up there? Or was I just too sick to hear them? We have all got your back, Hawkeye, when it comes to loving for us, well covered in the spirit world, big shield. I understand that. I do, Richard. And there were several times I thought to myself, there's got to be somebody out there, because I am so freaking sick. There were 3 of the 4 times I should have went to the hospital. Honest to God. I dehydrated. It took me several days. And that's what I was talking with my doctor about. He said, he said, even I got dehydrated. And he said, I've been sick 3 times since the first of the year. And he goes, um, Dave, he said, it's hard to get up after being this sick. And that was, yeah, buddy. So I'm praying that anybody, all y'all out there, and anybody that ain't like watching us or hearing this, I hope to Jesus they don't, have to put up with what we've had to. And that sickness is going around. And it seems like antibiotics are not helping at all. I just finished 7 days of antibiotics and I still got congestion in my chest. Since January, I've had congestion in my chest. I mean, coughing up stuff every few minutes, waking up in the middle of the night because I'm like, can't breathe. And so we'll talk maybe next life. Are you talking to me? I still want to come visit you. So, Crow, the keeper of the law of the keeper of the book of law. Yeah, I pulled that card tonight. So anyway, the crow card. So anyway, I'm back on this thing. I went to the river, and I went to the river to fish, but also to reconnect with nature. I mean, I got nature all around me here at the house, but being down on the river and the aquatics of things and the birds and turtles and used to be alligators. Um, and I caught a 30-inch gar, big old sucker, on a top lure. It was amazing. And I didn't get an opportunity to clean the fish. It stinks real bad in the back of the boat because I couldn't even walk out to the boat for the last 2 days. So I'm going to have to go out there with a shovel or something and get that puppy out. But um, what is this about from here? So the reconnection through any sickness or through any wayward, I had to go over here and do this. It was like the year I spent in jail. There were times when, it was like, what do I do? I'm stuck here and I blah, 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 and here's my situation. And that you just had to sit still and mentally work on it. I'm gonna I've got the energy. I'm going to make this. I got 6 months in jail to go. Now it's 5 months in jail. I got to go. Now it's 3 months in jail. I got to go. What am I going to do when I get out? I don't know. Now I'm a short timer. No, not a coincidence. Nah, it came up on purpose. But anyway, ain't no coincidences. So where do I stand now? Well, I stand very carefully now because both of my hips hurt like hell. But here's the thing. Today I heard for the first time I could hear the drum in my head again. So I was so clogged, so sick, high temperature. Maybe the drum was there and I simply couldn't hear it. Maybe my spirit guides were hollering and yelling at me to get well. I'm pretty sure of that one. But as far as I'm concerned, because I was so busy trying to fight off the temperature and fight off the sickness, that it took so much energy. It took so much energy just to do that. So anybody that is sick, anybody that has issues like that, and that's a lot of times why some people just give up and die. And I don't mean that badly because this on the fourth time of this sickness, I was like, just get me out of here. I have had enough of this. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't this. And And then come to find out, the 3 little heart attacks sitting on that EKG when I was there. So what's up? My friends, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and change your tone of voice. Bring it down a notch and change how you vocalize. Why? Because I'm finding for myself and for all y'all that we have to get our rhythm back, the right frequency. So by hum, find the one that fits you and hang out a little bit. Allow that frequency to like get you rejuvenated again. I mean, when I was on the river, as old as I am and as big as that canoe is, and all these heart attacks, blah 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 blah. Here I am, you know, paddling this canoe with the dog and fishing gear. Um, at 10 o'clock at night with no flashlight on the river, only with moonlight. Trust in the spirit. Trust in yourself. Trust that you're not going to run into something. Hey, Steve, you got a pencil? Paper? It's in the book. If you look up David Null in Moultrie, Georgia, I'm in the book. Okay. Yes. Birds can send them across. I mean, carrier pigeons, back in the war. So it wasn't just that you could tie something to their leg, they could actually communicate, and me and Duggar communicate in our own little way, you know. He can turn his eyes and cut them in a certain way, and I'll know what he's up to, and he knows that I can. I looked in my spam box, honest to God, Richard, and I have not seen an email come in from you or anybody else actually. So, and I don't know why. I don't know why, because I've looked for them. It's like, well, let me send this back and blah blah blah. You know, and now that I'm kind of sort of getting better, I'm not joking. If I could come up with the money, I might have to sell something, but I would love to come visit you. Honest to goodness. But anyway, so what did I learn? What does a shaman learn? A shaman learns to be patient, and it's like I didn't have time to worry about. I kept saying prayers for y'all. That ain't no lie, because it's like it's my duty. So it also gave me something to focus on while I was being so sick, and it's like, what do I do? I don't know. Blah, blah. And the hours and the time and the thing. And so, but the thing is that in doing so, I've had to do it in the past. When things are really rotten, you focus on the rotten and you say, okay, it's rotten. Okay, but it can't get any more rotten. I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to live through this. I'm going to, and you just focus. I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep, I'm going to keep breathing. I'm going to, I know I'm sick as hell, but I'm going to be patient. So Lord, help me, get me strength, and that's the constant prayer. So, in trying to just maintain, without freezing to death, or because I was so sick I couldn't put wood in the heater. I got big stack of wood over here. I couldn't get up to light the fire. I'm not complaining. It's just what happened. But the whole thing was another freaking training lesson for some reason, for, to get my shaman badge, that I've got to go through this turmoil and ungodly amount of pain and suffering with the heat and Jesus God. And then there was the stringy stuff that came out my bottom, and then there was and then there was but I'm here on the other side, still praying for y'all, and still praying that anybody that gets this mess will make it through. No school like old school. Yep. If you got a piece of paper, I'll just tell you what it is without sending you, anything. But so anyway, this is almost an hour long. It's an odd subject to I wanted to converse with y'all about and just come and visit. But that where did where I didn't lose my spiritualness. I didn't lose my consciousness of, that consciousness is the it, consciousness, and Cliff High's discussed it a few times too. We agree on it a lot, and I've never talked to him, but and maybe I have, but um, our consciousness is what keeps us in the thick of things, right? Even our unconscious state, because many hours I spent being unconscious during this sickness, right? So wake up, where am I? What's going on? Holy crap, what day is it? I haven't had my pills. I'm dehydrated. What do I do? I mean, going through the whole thing by myself, right? So it is what it is. And I've been sick before. So, but to the point of that, where are my guides? Where are my spirit guides? Where did you guys go? And it's like, maybe they didn't, but because of sickness. So in that, uh, the UK is done for fuel prices have skyrocketed. Yeah, I have kept up with that. Um, it's a shame, but we'll get through it. We have before. It's just a damned inconvenience. And that's one of the things through this sickness I've learned. It's a damned inconvenience, but sometimes your body's got to go through some of this shit. Now, here's something that I appreciated. I went to the doctor in um, January, before I got sick, mind you. And then after all of this sickness and everything, last week I went to the doctor and jumped on the scale, and I lost 7 pounds. I don't know where I put them, but I lost 7 pounds, which is good because I was like 198, and now I'm down to 106, 87, 186. And so look at me, And so losing the weight and going paddling and trying to get back in the thick of things. So for those folks out there that may have gotten this flu or the sickness or whatever, you gotta get back up. A doctor half my age, he's having trouble. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm paddling canoes, and you're like huffing and puffing sitting in your chair. So what's the shaman lesson? The shaman lesson is, to me now, I never lost my faith. I never thought I was going to die on the river, but it would have been peaceful. Um, Patience. In this world we're living in now, there are so many changes. We got to be patient. That's the lesson. I'm going to sing about the tow truck coming. I'm stuck in the bottom of the Low Cockney River, and the tow truck finally comes. The elation that I had, and the silliness, like I got stuck in the flipping river. What the hell? And so, with that said, um, I made it through. Me and Doug are both. It took patience. The things that are going on now in life, people are going crazy. Guess what? It takes patience. And I can email it if you need also. And how the hell do I have 3 contact points for you? So, but anyway, um, Richard, my email address is lowercase DWNULL52 at Gmail, not Yahoo or something. DWNO lowercase 52 at gmail.com. So my thinking is maybe you got the email address wrong. So, but I'm going to keep this under an hour. Um, I'm 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 back. It's time for a drumming, um, and I'm praying that all of you. Um, that's the one you got. I don't know why they haven't reached me because I've been, well, he said he was going to send me an email and, and not get it. Duggar slept. Yeah, he'd get up and turned around on his side of the seat and then lay back down and go back to sleep. But he was a good dog. Um, he didn't want to sit in the front of the boat on the way home. He wanted to sit in my lap, which is very difficult to paddle. He's been kind of clingy, but anyway, I love you all, and just know that I thank you for all your prayers, and I've wanted to come back on and yak about stuff, but um, the sickness. If you get sick, please take your vitamins. If somebody's helping you out, make sure that you stay hydrated and all that good stuff. Because by golly, it really makes a difference, you know. And once you get unsick, you got to get back up and be exercise with something, go walking, go do something to get your strength back. If you don't, shoot, you can slip right back in it. So, what health you got, keep it. Richard, it's great to see you again, as always. And Steve, oh my goodness, I'm so glad you're still around, my friend. Yeah, you got my phone number now. You can call me. I think that's the house number you got. So I got to make sure that it stays um, on the charger. Um, I have a community post going up at 8. It's Good Friday here too. It's just the sun ain't come up yet. So blessings to all y'all Catholics out there, and all you Christians. It's Good Friday, and you know, um, I may not practice as a Catholic, but I still believe in the I still believe in the ceremony of it. Go to Richard Hurd's Crow channel and look at his crow. Okay, I have to look it up. Um, I I forget easy. I really do. And it's like, man, send me an email so I'll know what your address is. Oh my god. But anyway, so I bet you. So my friends and other folks, have a good morning. Please be safe. There. I will tell you this. If you're somewhere that you're out and about and other people at a train station or something, or I'm going to leave it at that. Um, that you look out for the other guy, you look out for other people, because this is the time for us Christians, because I'm not Muslim, for us Christians to get a bomb threat or get bombed by the crazy people. And so this is Easter time. If you're out and about, keep just just watch, um, and stay safe. Okay. So with that said, cheers. I love you all. Um, and thank you for checking in with me. Okay, you sent it to me. Uh, cool beans, Barry. As Christians, we need to keep up with tradition or we lose it. Absolutely. You know, if the Muslims want to practice, okay, fine, but they seriously want to kill us all, and it's just like, come on, go over there and do your thing, but don't come over here because we clash, you know. You want to be that way and that's your religion, okay, but um, not here. And was watching the state of Texas, and folks in Texas are like, we ain't having it. We just ain't having it. So, and we need to stand up for that. I mean, um, but Dave, what about freedom of religion? Yeah, well, that freedom of religion says they want to kill all Christians, and that I'm an infidel. And I'm sorry, I'm sitting in my house I'm sitting here at the house by myself with my dog, and I do not see infidel anywhere. You know, so it's like, I don't understand these. That you would have um, this strong of opinion on other people. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Holy jihad is no joke. This is not a joke. This is for real. What's going on, right? And so I'm 4 sicknesses this year. I feel like I'm out of the trap, and I'm hoping that y'all will stay healthy, and that whatever comes our way, um, that we can handle it. That's the thing. We've survived all the way up to now. We can handle this. But morals and kindness, absolutely. I agree with you 110%. So I'm really sleepy now, and I'm starting to gaggle babble, and it's been 58. It's almost an hour, so I'm going to keep it under an hour. So until next time, and I promise it will be soon. Thank you, Crow. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you, Steve. Love and prayers to all of you. Stay healthy, y'all, and keep your eyes open if you're in those particular places. Okay. So until next time, I will see you. Thank you, and y'all rest well as well. Okay.